Well guys, we're back for the final on our Hobby Boss Corsair Mark II in 1/48 scale for the Frankie Day Corsair group build. We did the Fleet Air Arm paint scheme for the Royal Navy, sorry. This particular aircraft was on board the HMS Unicorn stationed in Papua New Guinea in July of 1944. The Unicorn was a small escort maintenance carrier. It had been specially refit to handle maintenance operations of the Fleet Air Arms Corsairs, with separate shops to handle all the imperial sized measurements. All the it was not built to metric standards, so it had, the 3/8 instead of 6 millimeters or whatever. So they had to build refit the ship with separate workshops to handle making parts and whatnot for the American planes. Anyways, she's all done. The paint went on when we saw the paint in the last video. Done really well. It's Tamiya paint for the upper colors, and I used the Vallejo for the underside of the aircraft, just because that's what I had handy. I didn't have any Tamiya Sky, or I would have used the Tamiya paint all the way through. We have our cockpit open. Obviously our landing gear down. We used Easy Line for the antennas. And then the decals. Oh boy. They are super thin, which is a good thing. But they are also super fragile. There's probably not 4 decals on this entire plane that I did not tear and had to put back together. They didn't break apart in the water. They weren't bad. They were just so thin that just looking at them cross-eyed, they would tear. Probably about the only ones that didn't tear were the Hamilton Standard labels on the prop. Other than that, it is a nice kit. It's over-engineered. It's intended, if you wanted to take the time to dissect it and turn it into a dissected frog, you can. There's a ton of internal detail. The gun bays are fully done. We got with the ammo boxes, the ammunition belts, the guns. That's all in there. The hatches, all the gun service hatches all open on the wings. You could model the aircraft with the wings up or down. They don't exactly make the kit where you can model it wheels up, but it's not a big deal to do so. You could easily put the front gear doors, model those closed, and then the tail wheel goes up and down. And then you could glue the door. You could glue the tail wheel doors shut if you wanted it in flight. The plastic of this kit was like an ABS. It's really soft. It has nice detail, but it's really soft and it's real flexible. And if you shiver just a little bit, or were just a bit wrong with your X-Acto knife when you were cleaning up a part or cutting apart, then it just cut in deep. Overall, the kit is a little over-engineered for what it is, but and it all comes together. Would I buy another Hobby Boss kit? Probably not. Not unless I did something that was, again, truly unique. As far as I know, this is the only 48 scale kit available that comes with the stub wings out of the box. With the kit parts that are left over, I know they could package up a birdcage variant because it has a lot of the birdcage parts in it. It also came with the F4U1D bubble canopy as opposed to the Mark II canopy. Big difference is the framework of the blown canopy between the Mark II and the D model. But other than that, I mean, I'm real happy with the way it turned out. Did just a little bit of light weathering on it. Did a panel line wash. Actually, I shouldn't call it a wash. I sat there with a 4-aught because the panel lines are so faint on a lot of them. I spent probably 8 hours with the Optivisor and a 4-aught paintbrush painting all the panel lines in because the wash just wouldn't hold. As soon as you tried to clean up the excess wash even after it's set, it just pulled it all back out of the panel lines and out of the fasteners and the rivets and whatnot. Alright, so let me show you the bottom real quick. I gotta be real careful, it's kind of fragile here. So it's not a whole lot to see. We do have our viewport on the bottom. I went ahead and put that in. Those didn't last very long. Most of them were plated over pretty quickly. There's a tail wheel, tail gear. Not a lot of decals on the bottom, quite a few on the top. Pull out there we go. Set up the tail hook a little bit. So that's the Hobby Boss Fleet Air Arms Corsair Mark II. I said it's a decent kit, it's worth the money. But unless they came out with a variant that I just had to have, I probably wouldn't buy another of the Hobby Boss Corsairs. You've got two different versions of the Tamiya kit out there. You've got the just for something easy and cheap, you've got the Revell, the monogram kit, which is like 60 years old, but if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, we'll call it a chicken. So, but that's not a bad kit in itself. It's for what you're paying for. Because at the end of the day, it looks like a Corsair. Alright, we changed things up a little bit here, and this is how I'm going to be displaying this Corsair. I printed out a base of a carrier deck, the wood deck, World War II era wood deck, and just put it into a cheap dollar store picture frame. Just set it on, so I've got about $1 into the base, and I'll kind of adjust it in a little bit so you can see it a little better. See in the corner there, it's got the hint of the elevator on the carrier deck and the wood paneling, and it's just another interesting way to kind of display your model. There's a lot of them out there you can get to print with concrete tarmacs or modern carrier decks, just about anything you can think of. Another popular one I've seen which works really nice for in-flight is using a map, a topographical map or a Google Earth image, and put that in there. Just gives you a different flavor, different feel. Kind of puts the model into its world. Anyway, guys, that's that's the base we're going to be displaying it on. And I hope you guys have a good day, good evening. You'll see me on the next build. Actually, you'll probably see me in just a minute, depending on your timing for my intro video for the small scale group build. So anyway, guys, good morning, good evening, good night, depending on when you watch this or where in the world you are, and we will see you on the next video. Night.